The Do This podcast is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network. Join hosts Bob Stewart and Chad Hyams as they talk with Mary Gilbert. Mary is the team leader of the Mary Gilbert Group at Keller, Williams, Southern Oregon. Listen as Mary offers insights into leveraging client reviews and hosting successful client events. The discussion dives into the importance of Google reviews for brand visibility, lead generation, and how client events foster client relationships and provide ongoing engagement opportunities. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Do This podcast, presented by Brivity.
I'm here. Chad's here.
I'm here.
And Mary Gilbert's here. Mary Gilbert, hello.
Well, good morning.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, depending where you're at, Chad.
Yeah, Chad is in Florida. We've got all the coasts covered here. Mary and I are both on the West Coast. Mary Gilbert, do me a favor. Introduce yourself to the audience and the people listening here, and just tell them a little bit about where you're at and a little bit about your business, maybe.
Definitely. So, Mary Gilbert, team leader at Mary Gilbert Group at Keller, Williams, Southern Oregon, also partner with Place. And we're in Roseburg, Oregon. It's a beautiful little town in the Umpqua Valley. And our whole county that we service is about 110,000 population. And we're dominating the market here. So we have a lot of market share and we have a lot of signs out there and a lot of visibility.
And Mary, what's the one thing you forgot to say? Go Ducks!
Absolutely. In case you didn't know, I graduated from the Oregon Ducks. Yeah, so that's my alma mater. Go
There you
Ducks!
go.
And
Go Ducks!
hopefully
My
the
wife,
Beaver fans are still listening, or if you're, or the Big Ten fans.
Mary, my wife went to Oregon for 3 years, and then she came home for the last year and graduated from the University of Washington so that her dad would not disown her. Because her father's a diehard Husky. My father.
So she's a duck at heart?
Yeah.
Okay. We like your wife better now.
And I'm a secret Ducks fan too, because a good friend of mine, Luke Ridnour, played basketball at the University of Oregon. Maybe not too far after you.
I know Luke. I watched Luke play basketball.
So absolutely. I love I was a big Ducks fan in those years. All right, moving on. So today we wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you work your reviews. And I know that you as a team, you guys do a lot of really, I don't want to call it pressuring your clients, but you're very kind of omnipresent in asking for reviews for your guys' business. Before we talk about some of the things you guys are doing to get your past clients or your sphere or whoever to give you a review, why does it matter? Like, why have you built processes? Why do you guys think about this? Like, why does it matter?
Well, it's constantly evolving, but it matters because people are reviewing us online. If you're out shopping for cars or you're looking for something else, I don't know, a lot of people go to Google and they want to see reviews about people, like what were other people's experiences, and they're looking for like, hey, what it's like to work with this team. So that's kind of why we built that presence up, and just to have the number one spot in reviews for the area too.
So did you set out to say, we want to be at the top, we want to have the most reviews? Did you set out originally to say, I just want to make sure if somebody looks for me, like they see a good experience was had by others? Like, was there an actual objective there, or did you just kind of stumble into getting a bunch of them?
Well, actually, yeah, there was an actual objective, and it's very interesting. So before I really knew Chad, I actually went to this real estate conference that he spoke at, and he probably doesn't know that, but there was this trainer there talking about Google reviews, right? And so I actually listened to it, implemented the things, and actually looked at where we ranked compared to other agents in the area. And I don't know at the time if we had the top spot, but after that, I was driven. It's like, hey, we have to get to the top spot on this, and we have to make it a system that we have all of our clients, past clients, friends, family, affiliates, vendors, leave a great review for us.
How? So in my head, I'm guessing, like, obviously people know about Mary and team. They come across the postcard that you guys send, or they drive by one of your listing signs, or they come into one of your open houses. Somehow they get engaged by you guys, and then they go, I'm going to check. We want to check them out. And so they go to Google and they see, a good set of reviews, and it reinforces to them that like, okay, this is a team. But are there people that are finding you guys because of that?
Absolutely. So we get those come list me calls. Like people are like, hey, we have a house to sell. We want you to sell it. And then we're like, well, how did you hear about us? Oh, we found you on Google. Oh, okay. Or you have the best reviews on Google, or you have the most reviews on Google. And so that helps with those kind of calls. And I do think we do have some of the callers that call in. We do find out that they're interviewing like 3 agents, and we win the business maybe because we've had the best reviews or the most reviews. It just solidified their decision to choose us, besides the other things that we're doing.
Okay. So when do you ask for the review? Because I think this is important. And maybe I'll just leave it at that. When do you ask for the review?
So definitely we do have a system that we're asking for reviews throughout our under contract process. I mean, ideally, if we haven't received it during when they went under contract, or if we haven't received it when the inspection contingency is over, or if they had a good appraisal, we're definitely getting it by the time the property closes. And if we didn't get it by the time the property closes, then our admin team is following up. We have these rhythms where we're going after reviews that they're checking in regularly to get those reviews. Sometimes it's just a matter of timing. People are busy. So we want to just keep checking. So that's one time that we're asking for reviews.
Bob,
Wow.
I just want to jump in here.
I was Chad. Last time we got together, Chad, last week, you made a comment because I just went forever. I was actually about to hand it over to you, and you interrupted on your own, which is
there you go.
You've never had a problem with before, by the way.
Of course, never.
Yeah.
You might have been thinking I wasn't paying as much attention because I was looking away and stuff.
I was going to call you out on it. Everybody saw it.
It's because I don't know if they see just the speaker or if they could see me doing it when I'm not talking. I don't know what screen image everyone else has. I was accessing ChatGPT, and I just asked ChatGPT that I am looking to move to the Roseburg, Umpqua Valley area. Who's the number 1 realtor? And boom, Mary Gilbert team is who it threw right back at me because of all the reviews that are out there, because of the rank. Says widely listed as the top agent, strong local reputation, wonderful reviews about them to be found online. And then, of course, gave me the 5 questions I should ask Mary before I move into the area, as ChatGPT does. Yet, folks, getting those Google reviews that Mary's been talking about are also going to now give you the probably second biggest search engine in the world. I don't have the statistics to prove that yet I won't be surprised that one day soon, ChatGPT possibly passes Google as the number 1 search engine, even though that's not what it's built for. And here it is giving me back Mary because of what she's been doing. Mary, what percentage of your clients do you find to leave a review? Do you get 100%, or are there those few that just never go about doing it?
Yeah, we don't get 100%. I think I would love to see this number higher, but I would say that we're about 60% are giving reviews. I do
and
find
of that, are any of them negative?
Are any of them negative? Well, we do have a process that we probably aren't going to ask for reviews if they're negative, but
doesn't mean they're not going to give them anyway.
Right. I did see one. I was a little disappointed. It's probably good for the algorithm, but we did get a 4-star review. We got a 4-star review, but it said how great the agent was. And I was like, well, but
so no 1 stars. No 1 stars on there?
What's crazy? And I did ask this person about this. I did get a 1-star review, and it was from a cousin of mine that worked with a member of my team. And then I called them and I said, hey, what happened? I said, you gave us a 1-star review. And they go, oh, I might have just hit the wrong button or something. So anyways, I'm just being transparent. Like,
do you trust, Bob, do you trust 5-star reviews across the board? Because I don't.
I don't either. And I think if they don't have any marks on it, I think they've either haven't dealt with enough people, because even if you're 100% amazing at everything you do, eventually you come across an a-hole.
Yes.
Right? Like, and so if your business is big enough, anything, the widget you sell is big enough, enough people have bought it, eventually somebody. So Chad, to me, sometimes I even go to those, and when I read them, I go, yeah, that person sounds crazy. But I want to get a sense of the breadth of their business. Like, oh, I got 5 reviews and they were all great. Like,
I won't buy anything on Amazon that has a 5-star review, because that means they've just given the product for free to people, or they've had their family go review the product. If it's got to be a 4.9 or lower for me to even consider it.
Mary, you said the 4 is probably good for the algorithm. I agree.
Something, because I'm real, or maybe it's proven that we're real. But I do have an interesting story on Yelp. It was a past client that I personally dealt with, a divorce situation. They ended up blasting us on Yelp, gave us 2 stars or whatever it was. Well, just 6 months ago, because this guy's still on our touch campaign, he's getting our newsletters, he's getting invited to our events. He referred one of his friends to us to list his friend's house and said how great we were, even though he gave us 2 stars on Yelp.
One of the things I learned back in the Active Rain days, Chad, is the people that are willing to vocally detract from your business, if you can somehow still have empathy for them and still try to deliver on your core values, they will actually become your largest, they can potentially become some of the biggest advocates for your business. Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me that person who was like, and look, maybe you'll remember, maybe you won't. Was there any validity at all to the comments that he had, or the comments that he had, or no? Totally
they're
crazy.
Probably, who knows? I mean, there was a couple weird situations, like maybe the communication wasn't clear that, hey, I'm stopping by your house. Nobody answered the door, so he stuck a business card in the door, and that triggered that person. But
but my point is, sometimes there's some validity in those, in the 4-star, and the little thing that they did, and maybe we can learn something from it.
So, Mary, give us your system. Yeah, I mean, quick, not the whole thing in full detail. You said you ask as soon as they go under contract. You said you'll ask after the inspection report goes smoothly and you're moving forward. You said you ask upon closing if you haven't already gotten a review. So you're smart. You're hitting the high points of a transaction for a real estate agent. Is it you're asking in person? Are you sending a text? Are you sending an email? Are you sending the link to make it easy? What does the system truly boil down to looking like, though?
Yeah, it's going to be all of it. So different methods, different ways, text, emails, phone conversations. Hey, can we do this? We actually have little cards that we bring to closing that has a QR code. And so maybe when the escrow officer is making all the copies for the client, they can hey, can you scan this and leave us a review? That's probably a really good way, because, we've all got a minute or two, and
we're sitting there bored, yet we're excited because we're about to get our keys or our check.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so as I sit here, I'm always trying to put myself in the audience and then have a drunk monkey show up on my shoulder, Chad.
Yep.
Why would somebody sit in the audience think, no, I'm not doing that?
There's no reason. Reason.
Well, has anybody, because I can hear.
Okay, there is a reason.
Somebody's in the audience going, I would never ask that many times. That's weird. If they didn't give it to me the first time I asked, I'm not going to ask them again later, and then again, and then I'm not going to have my admin come around a week after they close and ask them again. Has anybody ever yelled at you guys and said, just enough with the review asks?
Actually, yeah, nobody has ever. We've never been yelled at for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 60% of your people leave a review, which means, Bob, to answer, right, 4 out of 10 of them are just never going to do it. They probably ignore your message anyway, or just get so busy they forget that it's even there. I'll bet if Mary went in and looked at the numbers of the 60% that do leave a review, at least 50% of them, I'll bet, don't leave it until the 3rd time they're asked, or at that closing table where, her agent or her are sitting right there with them. Yet, it's just because we get busy doing other things and we're like, oh yeah, I'll get back to doing that. And we don't. You have to ask multiple times, Bob. That would be like me asking you just once. Hey, do you know anybody that's thinking about buying or selling in real estate? And now I'm never going to ask you in your whole life again because I asked you once and you didn't give me an answer. We have to ask for the business we want. Good job, Mary, making sure you get that many. Because here I've got ChatGPT, and I'm sure if I pull up Google as well, it's going to tell me that Mary's the person to work with in that area because it sees her rankings. So yes, she has success, and it sees her reviews, knowing that people are saying she's worthy to work with.
Mary, is there anything that we're not thinking about here? Like, is there any way that reviews show up in a positive impact to your business that we're not thinking about?
That we're not thinking about right now. Well, just like Chad mentioned with Chat GPT and all of that, I think it helps with your SEO. I mean, besides reviews, we're also posting like updates on our Google business page. So, and I think with the reviews, I think it's really important to always respond to the reviews as well. We can't just leave those people hanging. So,
do you read them in your office at a team meeting when they're talking about one of your agents or something, just to build morale around the office and say, hey, everybody, here's what the most recent closing that Jackie just had to say about her?
Yeah, we do that. I would say that that's probably one area we can improve on is having a consistent rhythm for that. But we do share them on Facebook and social media, right? From our team page, those reviews go out. Like, here's another 5-star review for Courtney or whoever is on the team. So we are sharing those with the public on different social media aspects.
Okay, can we shift gears a little, Bob?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, because I know one of the other things Mary was going to talk to us about today was going to be client events. And I think a lot of people think client events are the answer to everything because they just want to have a party, right? And they just want to have people get together. And now it's an excuse. I don't have to lead generate because, my clients will never forget me because I see them at my pumpkin patch or I see them at the pictures with Santa or whatever. So I really want to get into hearing from Mary the success she has, how much actually goes into one of them, how much lead generation goes into having an event so that you have the best possible event. Mary, how often do you guys do client appreciation style events?
Yeah, so we typically do at least 4 events a year.
So 1 a quarter.
Well, they're kind of all, some of them are stacked. So we do kick one off in the spring. It's April. And we might do one in the first quarter. It would be movie night since we have a great playbook for that to follow. But Shred Day starts in April. And so we do that. And then we are stacked up. We do a client appreciation in September. We have our pumpkin patch event in October, and people love it. The grandparents take all their little grandchildren out there, and we have a photo booth. And so every year they come and get their family photo, and then they can compare it like 5, 6, 7, and 8 years later. It's awesome. And then, of course, we're gearing up for Pi Day, which is next week. So,
do you do photos with Santa also?
We haven't done photos with Santa, but something I definitely love to add into our.
So you're really Q4 heavy. I mean, September really is Q3, but your end of year will say heavy with your client appreciation events. You just kind of have that one in the spring, which is Shred Day, right around tax time, get rid of all those documents, things like that. And it still works for you all year long because you're creating that much mind share by having that many at the end of the year. It's not overwhelmed. People aren't saying, Mary, I came to the last one, I'm not coming to it works out fine that way.
Oh, they love it. And our pumpkin patch day is amazing. And then I'll come home and my husband's like, hey, I don't know, like all these people are asking me when your Pi Day is. And I'm like, they should have the postcard. But, they're excited and they talk about it. And yeah, it's great. He gives me all the reports back. So
how do you do anything particular to ask for business from these people as they show up or drop by to grab their pie?
Yeah, so definitely. I mean, all of these events are geared, for us to get face-to-face, belly-to-belly, nose-to-nose, however you want to say it, with these people. But we do things in advance. So, we're inviting them. We have a touch campaign. Yes, they get invited in our e-newsletter or email blast. They get our postcard, right? But it's also an opportunity for our agents to one-on-one, like, reach out to those customers and past clients and say, hey, blah, 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 our next Pi Day event's coming up on this date. Are you registered yet? I can get you registered. Love to see you there, right? And then have the event, and then post-event, it's another great way to reach out. Hey, it was so great to see you at the event. here's when our next event is. Or, hey, we missed you at the event. I hope to see you at our next event. Here's when the next event is, right?
Bob,
And
did
by
you
the
just hear
way,
that from Mary? Did you just hear clearly? And I want to make sure the audience heard that. The event is an excuse to contact them, to invite them to the event, and an excuse to contact them to either thank them for coming or saying, we're sorry we missed you. So one event is minimum 2 touches, maybe 3 if they actually show up at the event. And what a great excuse, because everybody, not everybody, how many people out there are like, Bob, I don't want to make calls. I don't know what to say to the people. I don't know what to say to the people. Invite, see you there. Nice to see you, or sorry we missed you. Next event is before you know it. Invite, event. What great excuses to be touching people when you're sitting there saying, I have no excuse to call people. Have an event.
yeah, have an event. And we're not always having to talk about real estate, but because we care about them, we want to see them at our next event. And Bob, you asked this earlier, so I am going to circle back to Pi Day because I do remember this. One other thing that we do as we're inviting people, because they get to have a pie, and I learned this from another producer in the area.
Brilliant idea. I know what you're going with.
We also, on our postcards or after they've RSVP'd, say, hey, whip us up a referral and get a can of whipped cream on us. And there are people that they will put names on there, people, them, I'm in the market, buy whatever. And they come through Pi Day and they're like, don't forget my can of whipped cream. Like, I gave you a referral.
Yeah, $2.43 for a can of whipped cream, yet you gave me a referral that I've been asking you for, and that's all it took to bribe you to give it to me. It's a brilliant idea, Mary, to add to the pie.
Yeah.
So smart. That's what, like, I think the events, look, you don't have to ask for the business in that way, but I think you're missing an opportunity if you don't. And I love the kind of, you know, the fun little, the aspect or the fun way of doing that makes a ton of sense.
Mary,
Yeah.
can I ask the Brivity question now, since they're sponsoring this call?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the reviews or whether it's the events, how are you best using Brivity to assist in the success?
Well, definitely. Every event has a playbook or an auto plan, as we call it in Brivity, that's running that event. So when they're properly applied, like it's giving us notice, 8 weeks out, do this, right? Prep for this. It's all lined out so we don't have to like reinvent the wheel every time.
So
it's
if you hit
keeping
your
us on
task
track.
list, it's telling you, call these people, text these people, send that
Right.
postcard, whatever it is.
Right. So that keeps us on track. The Brivity auto plans.
I see it inside a lot of databases, and I think, and I've always said, like, as a leader of your organization, you have to give your agents like once a quarter. Now you're doing it 4 times, and it's not exactly once a quarter, but it's 4 times this year. You're giving them a proactive reason to reach out to their database. That's not, do you need to buy or sell? Because I think what happens, I see this all the time. I've seen this, Chad, for 25 years. If they don't have a reason to call, they feel like all they could say to people is, are you ready to buy or sell yet? And if I just called you last month or 2 or 3 months ago, I doesn't, like, most people are like, I don't want to call again and say, are you ready to buy or sell now? What about now? How about now? Right? And so you're giving your team reasons to, and on almost every team that we come across, if they have that reason, they're much more likely to make the call. Mm-hmm. Did you guys, like, did you institute events with that in mind, or was that like a happy byproduct of doing these events?
Well, definitely. I mean, if you're holding events, it's kind of like doing an open house. We want to maximize the event. And so, yeah, we can just invite them to the event and hope they show up, but it also allows us more touches. So when we're running them at a high level, yes, we're going to be on game, making those calls and contacts and reaching out to them. But
okay,
they kind of go hand in hand.
Let me challenge you, Mary. You give them an easy excuse to call in September. right? Or maybe even late August, call for the September event. And you give them September's call for the October event. And you give them October to call for the pie event. Why are your people calling in February? Are you giving them a reason in February and saying, hey, folks, I want you, everybody on the team to know this happened. So here's your excuse to call people. Or are you just saying, I don't know, figure it out, pick up the dang phone?
Well, January or February, it's going to be like reaching out, like Happy New Year's. How's everything going? Hey, I'm just planning out my year. What are your real estate related plans for the year? I want to make sure that I'm available. So yeah,
keep going. Go through the next month. What happens when March shows up? Is that now the April shred call, or are you coming up? Okay.
Yeah, and March is going to be a good one. Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Here's our next event, right? And in April, that's coming up. We're probably going to be reaching out to them again about, hey, you signed up. Here's what we're doing, or, here's who our sponsor is. Come see us.
Okay, let's get into the summer months. I'm putting you on the spot now. I want you to keep going. Give us an excuse for what's the motivation in May to be calling? Because you don't have another event until September now.
Well, we might have a virtual event in May, like a giveaway. So then I don't know what we're giving away. It's probably a barbecue set of some type, but it's going to be like a reverse thing. Like, here's our giveaway. Blah, blah, blah. Make sure you call in or register on these days, whatever. So we'll have something going on.
Here's what I hear from Mary, Chad, that intentionally she realizes that if she doesn't give her agents a reason to call for something, and maybe she doesn't have May's thing thought up yet, or she knows that generally they do some kind of a giveaway. She just doesn't know what she's going to give away. The point is, Mary, you have to manufacture a reason for your agents to call. They're much more likely to do it if you do.
Right.
Do this, right? Oh. Right there. Folks, if you're on a team and you're the leader of the team, you at the first of the month should be telling your team the motivation to call this month, such as we're going to do a barbecue giveaway, such as we're having a movie thing, such as, hey, it's just January. Check in and ask them what their real estate plans are for the year, if they have any, so that they remember you're available. If you're a solo agent, we just gave you a handful of them yourself. Come up with something for the first of every month that's your excuse to call every month, so you don't have to just say, hey, Bob, I know you heard from me last month. Do you have anybody looking to buy or sell now? Right? Because Bob's going to stop taking your call.
Mary, thank you so much. I know you guys sell hundreds of houses down there in Umpqua Valley. I don't know how you find the time to do what you do, let alone give Chad and I an extra half hour. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me on here.
Go Ducks!
Absolutely.
Go Ducks!
Every single time. Go Ducks. Go Ducks. All right. Hey, everybody. We'll be back next week. Chad, I don't know who we have, but you and I will be there. We'll see you next week.
You got it. Wait.
Bye,
No, we
Mary.
won't.
Have a great weekend.
We won't. It's Thanksgiving.
Oh, we're off next week. Everybody's going to be.
Enjoy the turkey.
I'll see you. Same.
See you in 2 weeks.
I'll see you in 2 weeks, Chad.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you, Philip.